What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and today I have some great information for those who's looking to see what's the best option when deciding to get a truck. This is for all those who have just got the authority and looking to say, what is the best option for me, either leasing or purchasing? And today I'm going to show you a list of the pros and cons of leasing and the pros and cons of purchasing your first truck. Okay, without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. All right. The leasing rental program. Now, disclaimer, before I even start to explain the pros and cons, please do not confuse going to, like, for instance, Enterprise and getting a truck and renting it as if somebody off of the streets is using a truck to go move stuff from a home. You'll get a total different rate than going to the actual commercial department. Those rates are totally different. So please consider that if you do ever consider the lease or get into the rental program. You're not renting a truck as a regular civilian. You're leasing, getting into a leasing program to where you will get those commercial rates as a business owner. All right, now let's get to it. The pros: a low security deposit. Yes, a security deposit, not a down payment. So upon the return of the truck being in the condition that you got it, you can get your initial investment back, and that is a positive. You know, I would hate for anything to occur, but we all know life happens and things happen. So if anything was to happen, you at least have that opportunity to get your initial investment back. All right. The next thing, no need for credit worthiness. So for those out there that say I'm struggling with my credit, I had things in my past, will that hinder me from being able to lease a truck through one of these reputable rental companies? No, it doesn't. As long as you have your active DOT number and authority and have the proper business credentials as well as insurance, you're good to go. As long as they got a truck available. So that's a great thing about that, right? All right. And then just a side note, I'm gonna be reading some off my paper just so I can be able to give y'all the best information that's possible. Okay, so please excuse the notebook. All right. Newer vehicles. All right. The thing with the newer vehicles is that you're going to get a truck that you don't have to worry about it being out of code, out of compliance, the lift gate not working. On top of that, you're going to get all the proper dimensions that you would need to be able to get the maximize on the amount of loads you can get. See, I want to make a quick disclaimer. A lot of times when people come out to this game, they don't know the proper dimensions to get for the trucks that they need to be able to maximize on their money. The thing is, when you go to these leasing programs, you want to get the proper equipment. The proper height, the proper width, the proper lift gate, everything that you will need in order to be able to take whatever load that is available for you in order to maximize the amount of money that you can make. All right, that's a great thing about the leasing program. All right, the next thing, routine maintenance covered by company. So that means that anything, oil changes, batteries fixed, all those things is covered by the company. That is a stress, a headache that you won't have to worry about. So while you're just out there getting to the money, that's something that you don't have to think about because the company will hit you up and let you know if you need to get anything fixed on that truck. All right. The next thing, easy to scale. It's the big thing here for all those out here that's trying to really make it big in this industry. We know we want to scale. We want more than one truck, and a lot of times we want to take that risk, but things happen. This is a good way to easily scale because whenever you want another truck, it's as simple as a phone call to whatever rental company that you're dealing with or leasing company that you're dealing with, and you are priority over those who are just coming into the game. So whenever I want a truck or two, all I gotta do is make a phone call, and they will have one. As soon as one is available or two is available, I can go get them. So it's easier for me to scale. Moving on, next thing, easy to return. So once again, guys, things happen, life happens. All right, so if at any point that you're like, you know what, I can't do this right now, or it's not working out, you can just simply return it. Just simply return it and just move on. And if you want to get right back in the game, you can just go back and get it back. So that's a great thing about the leasing program. All right. Next thing, the annual DOT inspections. Now, this is critical to those out there having a truck. This is not your car. Okay, you can't just get by with certain things not working. If you have a DOT violation that goes directly on your FMCSA record, that is a strike on you, and shippers will not let you ship their loads if you have a bad rating on USDOT number on your authority. So you really need to be careful with that. So with this annual DOT inspection, the company ensures that you're out there driving properly. Because if you get a ticket or anything, that's on you. And that could be the end of the company, okay? So you have to be really careful with the DOT inspections, all right? The next thing, replacement vehicles during unexpected damages. Now guys, I've been doing this for close to 3 years now, and I tell you, your truck's gonna break down. Things gonna happen, and when it happens, it's gonna happen at a time that you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, how? It's not gonna be a time where you're on the way to a load or you're not about to do a load. It's gonna be a time when you got a load in your truck. And you wanna know what's great about the replacement vehicle? As soon as I give them a call, they're gonna find a way to either get it fixed, get someone there to fix it, or try to find me a different truck, all right? And that's a great thing about that, because you never want your money to stop. The last thing is access to wide range of vehicles. Now, one thing when people get in this truck industry that I notice, and there's no shade to anyone, I understand this is a very profitable business. But let me tell you something about the trucking industry. Just a quick rant. There's way more than just box trucks. Okay, coming into this industry, you got the ability with that DOT number to do so much more. Now, with these rental companies, not only can I rent a box truck, but I can also rent flatbeds. I know there's a lot of you out there that love OTR. When I tell you there's so much money in flatbed work, you can get you a flatbed there. All right. You can also get you a truck. You can rent you a Ram dually tow kit truck to where you can do hat shots. It's so much more to where you can be able to scale and do so much for yourself when you're dealing with a leasing company. Okay, so I know there's a lot of negative connotations towards there, but I really want to show y'all the pros. But I cannot do that without showing y'all the cons. So we're going to move on to the cons for dealing with the leasing/rental companies. All right, guys. Now for the cons. It's a business liability. So yes, you do not own the truck. It is not an asset. So yes, there's a type of way that you can write the actual leasing off at the end of the year, but it's not the same as when you write off the actual truck when you purchase it. Okay, so it just depends on what you win, what you consider to be better. All right, the next is higher weekly and monthly costs. In comparison to buying your truck, you're going to pay a higher weekly and it's going to be a higher monthly cost. If in further videos, I can explain the actual costing and the payments, and you can actually compare that. But just take that into consideration that it is going to be a little higher than if you was to actually purchase your truck. All right, and then the next thing is going to be infinite payments. Unlike when you're purchasing or financing a truck, there's not an end thing. There's not an end goal here. You're going to pay as long as you're leasing from the actual company. Once again, consider that when you're making your decision on what you rather do, leasing or purchasing. All right, without further ado, we're going to move on to purchasing. All right, so we're going to go over the pros of actually purchasing or financing your first truck, okay? First pro here, it's a business asset. It's yours, So at the end of the year, you have your proper account and everything set up properly, you can write that off. So depending on the pricing that you pay for it or whatever, you can write that whole thing off. All right, the next thing, you have a lower and no monthly payments. So once again, I can break that down in the next video. I might actually have more detail on that. Please look out for that video. But the low is going to be lower and no monthly payments. So that's always a positive because that cuts in on your overhead. All right, next, set scheduled payments. Now, your payments aren't based upon the amount of miles you drive. Your payments are set, you finance. You can always look forward to pay that amount. If you pay $1,500 a month, that's what you're paying a month. It doesn't change, it stays the same. It's always a positive. All right, the next thing, can possibly build your personal/business credit. For those, once again, please stay tuned because I'm gonna have a lot of video on things like these, the steps that I took in order to get financially stable, in order to get business and personal credit. All right, that's one of the things that you're gonna have to do in this business. You're gonna have to know how to leverage other people's money. All right, so that's good. It builds your personal credit as well as your business credit. All right, and then it's possibly easy to scale because once again, if you're making your payments and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, then normally the dealership you're dealing with will have no problem giving you more trucks. Okay, so that's always a positive. Next thing, we're gonna move on to the cons. You must have good credit in order to finance newer vehicles. So I'm not saying any of you out there don't have good credit, but we all have to be honest here. And sometimes that's one of the things that hold us back. So that's one of the things that's holding you back from being able to get out here. Do not stray away from actual leasing because this can hold you back from even being able to get out on the road and making money. So that is definitely a negative, having to have good credit, okay? We need to have our credit, great, but Don't let that hinder you from going out there and being able to get to this money. All right. The next thing, definitely is 2022. Right now, I'm doing this video. It's April, and right now trucks are going for a little penny. Right now, they're going from 30 to 40,000 with the average of 150 to upwards of 300,000 miles on a truck. So you're going to get older vehicles with higher mileage. So that puts you in a position where you're going to actually need to find somebody reputable to come with you to check these trucks out. And if you're not in the trucking industry and you don't know how to pop a hood and don't know what to look for in these diesel trucks, then you're going to be hit. I mean, like I said, older vehicles, a lot of people don't know this. I believe it's, I'm going to put it on the bottom of the screen, but I believe after 2010, all diesel trucks was made with the DEF system. So any truck before 2010 don't have a DEF system. So it depends on what you think is critical in your truck and what you need out of your truck, but you need to make sure you do that research so that you get the proper equipment. All right. Next con is of out-of-pocket repair costs. Okay, guys, it's one thing that people don't like to try to consider. And I'm gonna tell you, like I said before, your truck is going to break down. And the thing is, with your truck breaking down, you're going to be responsible for the costs. That cost can be $500 or that cost can be $25,000. Okay, so that's one thing you have to consider. All right, so just a quick note. Just say, for instance, if the truck do break down, so you in March, the whole March you profit $10,000. The first week of April, your DEF system messed up, $7,500. It takes them a week to fix it. You were making on average $500 a day. Do your math, you missed out on $3,000. Not only do your $10,000 is gone, now you're negative $1,500 in the hole and you got to catch back up. So you have to consider those things when you purchase a vehicle, all right? Next thing, if the truck is out of service until repairs are completed. Once again, I'll just explain that. Once again, your box truck is going to be the equivalency to your car. You're still going to have to trust the mechanic. Just because you go in with the perception and think you're going to pay $3,500, that could double at any time. The time could double at any time. All right, and then you almost end up having to resort to lease a truck anyway. So please consider that when you do go out and purchase your truck. Please consider that, because if you're sitting still and your truck's not making money, then you're losing money. All right, see, and we're going to move on. You're responsible for the routine maintenance. That means you must know when you need oil changes, when you need the battery change, when you need windshield wipers, when your lights are out in the back, what reflective tape you need on the truck. You need to have all that stuff in compliance. Is important because your brand and your authority is absolutely important. It's the livelihood of your business. So you have to make sure that you have all of that stuff in order. All right. The next thing, you're responsible, like I said, for the DOT compliance. This right here is the life of your business. If your business cannot get loads, your business cannot make money. So you want to keep a positive grade, and you don't want to have any type of strikes with the FMCSA. Okay, so with owning your actual truck, you just have to make sure that you're extra responsible and you're on top of everything and you're paying attention to this. You have all your findings and paperwork together in the truck, well as your maintenance records. All right. Last but not least, still responsible for payments during repairs. So once again, like I said, your truck will be out for an entire week. It could cost you upwards of $7,000 to $8,000, and while your truck is in that shop, your payments don't stop. All right. So those are the things you have to consider. We'll cover everything, the pros and the cons of leasing versus buying your truck. Now, I don't want to take the decision that you need to make. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be transparent. This is a decision that me and my wife decided to make to start with. Okay, but we understood that the risk definitely outweighed the reward because we would have just started. We couldn't have afforded the truck broke down having a whole week. We needed that security, no matter the cost, in order for us to continue the business to grow. All right, so that's why we made the decision.